I can see certainly a mother protecting a son up until a certain age. And then at that point, he needs to, become a man. And that's where usually where a father takes over, again, 12, 13, or whatever. And it's like, you got him. And you then prepare him for that. When mothers protect, but fathers prepare. And so, again, only up to a certain point is that even an issue. But if men are asking for a woman to protect them, and what I'm also hearing some sort of reciprocity, like you're upset because she won't take a bullet for you. I had this conversation with my wife 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and we already came to the conclusion she's not taking a bullet for me. She's just not, because that's not how most women are built. Most women are not going to take a bullet, stand in front for their man, and take a bullet. I don't think that's what they were made for. That's not what they're designed for. If that were the case, that your husband goes to war, you would follow right after him. And when the military artillery is shooting at him, you stand in front of your husband. That's just not how generally things work. But there are, if you want to talk about it more generally, more passively, I think there's certainly things that a woman can do to protect an adult man, particularly her husband. And part of that is simply one, creating an environment that keeps him out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man has more of a desire to be home rather than being outside in the world chasing after things that may be unhealthy for them, then yeah, that's a form of protection. It's not direct, but it's certainly much more of an indirect sort of thing. But having an environment um, where he can live in peace at home, where he desires to want to be around, and if anything, create an environment where he wants to be the protector. I think that is really where it's at. So I think that's really the if there is going to be a form of protection, that would be it. So yeah, mothers protect sons, but after that, to expect them to do for a grown adult man, not in a forward sense like what I'm hearing so far. I just um, and it's interesting. Now someone's mentioning here spiritual protection. It's interesting to me because I actually looked this up. There is not one verse in the Bible where a wife prayed for her husband. Not one. Look it up. There's not one verse, not one example. You look at all the women in the Bible, I never heard one. There's not one verse where a woman prayed for her husband. Now, what is in the scriptures, and you get this, I believe it's out of, might get this wrong, I believe it's out of First Peter, that basically it is important for the man to live and do well by his wife, because if he doesn't, then God will not hear your prayers. That's in the scriptures. But I've never heard any, and I'm not saying it's wrong or a wife shouldn't pray for a husband. I'm not saying that. But it seems like just from what I'm seeing in the scriptures, the expectation is that the man is supposed to be the head. The man is supposed to be have certain roles, and women have certain roles in a supportive sense for a husband. Now, if you want to say that's protection, if you want to say certainly watch my back, if you want to say, look, you're good at the finances, right? So you handle the finances, that's a form of protection, because, I can then focus on other matters. Or, you might be good at, like, say we're at a function or we're at an engagement, you might be good at discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be looking at a situation one way, and then we talk later on and you'd be like, hey, this is what I'm feeling from this. And again, if I trust your counsel, then again, that you could look at that as a form of protection. But again, it's passive. It's not like, hey, let me stand in the middle here and let me do this. Again, generally speaking, and there's always going to be exceptions. There's always going to be situations. If your husband's disabled and you have to be in that situation where you are the provider and you're doing a lot of things to take care of your husband, yeah, that's a sense. But generally speaking, this question, I don't think is necessarily a one that's going to have a lot of application to most women. That's not necessarily what they were built for. So unless it's a special circumstance or situation, I don't see how it has some sort of value. But yeah, but anybody who prays to God, if you have a relationship with God, it's not just going to be for just your family. It's any situation that you're in. So like I said, I think praying for your spouse, just like vice versa, I think, yeah, that's a good thing. But you're not providing necessarily anything that hasn't been provided before. So again, I guess that's my initial 2 cents. We can sort of delve and get deeper, but I just want to really, like I said, tackle that spiritual question because again, show me a verse in the Bible where a woman's praying for her husband. It's not there. I've seen books. I've seen people talk about it later on. You got women women ministers who come out with books on the power of a praying wife and all these sort of things. You won't find a specific example in the scriptures of someone doing it, of a woman doing that for her husband. It just doesn't happen. I've seen women pray to God. For example, I think one of the prophets, one of the priests, one of the prophets, his wife couldn't have any kids. She prayed to God that she can have kids. I think it was Samuel's mom. I forget her name, but I think it was in 1 Samuel. His wife was the guy had, I think, 2 wives, and the one wife couldn't have a son or whatever, and she prayed feverishly to God. And she basically said, "If you give me a son, I'll give him back to you." And when he became weaned, he got raised at the temple. She prayed for a son, and it's interesting because the husband was like, "Look, don't I treat you better than multiple sons?" And that wasn't enough. She said she wanted a son. So it didn't even matter what the husband was providing or that she was even grateful that she had a husband that to provide. She wanted a son. And she prayed for him in that particular story. So no, I don't think it's something that, that I haven't heard this kind of talk. I'll say this until YouTube. I just haven't.
All right, Marianne, you're up.
Okay.
David, you're next.
What is that?
No, I let David know he's next after you.
Okay. Why women protect men? That's the topic. I would say it's a yes and no, to be honest, because women are not designed to protect men. I will say the only time, let's say, if God forbid you come across of a situation like, let's say somebody slandering or saying something bad to the person, it could be in different perspective. It could be husband, could be boyfriend, it could be, could be someone that's dear to you, relative, friend, whatever the case is. Of course, you could have the right to speak up, to say, to defend the ones to care, or you could just ignore it because it's not worth your time. But women are not designed to protect men. Like, it's more like in a verbal sense, I will say, because the last thing we need, you don't need to have like a cat fight over something. I hate to say it. We're not, yeah. But and it's yeah, because it's very hard. I mean, we have to, in order to protect the family. If you're like, if you're married, that's different, because you have to you have to protect each other. But man is more in charge. So
Nah. Nah. Sorry.
All right.
okay.
All right. Let David go next, and then you're up, Greg. Okay, you're next after David.
I ain't gonna lie. When I heard about the title, you asked Peter, I walked out because that's the very touchy subject. And when my big brother
David,
here.
hang on 1 second. If this is gonna affect you emotionally, it's okay.
No,
to
no,
step
no,
up.
no. It's not gonna affect me emotionally, but I was
Okay,
speaking.
I don't want
about-
you to get fucked up in the head.
I don't. No, I'm doing my best, and I'm glad my big brother here.
If it makes
Mr.
you feel
Parker-
better, I'll have Paul give you a big kiss.
Now you
Yeah.
go trigger. Now you go trigger me right now. Craig, look, see what I'm doing with right here, Craig. See what I got to do with when I come on panel with him. Anyway, I'm gonna shout out to Mr. Paul Bennett. I'm glad he pointed on things out because from a Bible nerd, I searched the Bible myself, and there's never been a scripture that said the woman have prayed for her husband or a woman praying for her. But shout out to George Meyer who tackled that issue 7 times over, and she said, even though you don't find it, the Bible talk about order, structure. There's God, there's man. Correct. But women do have a place in the house whereby they're supposed to be the one who have to foresight to see from behind wherever that coming to either hurt or barricade her husband's progress. Now, being a black church for most of my life, growing up in my African, that had been a stigma. Tell women about their position in the household at a family. It felt as if it's conditioned they should do. But a man role is unconditional. Why I try not to get emotional. I try and be logical and technical about it. And the way I look at these things, I'll put it like this. When you explained it to a woman about their role, their benefit, and what kind of level of power they have within the dynamic of take that thing for granted. I can say I've never been protected by a woman. I'm always the one who's protecting the woman. Ever they don't deserve protection to begin with. Sometimes I will beat myself up behind closed. They deserve it. What you do for that person, they never great.
All right.
That had to dig in and try to look at how all women are the same, which I told you. Protect their man. But they do it in a way they know where their power lies at. Not always you have to jump in the front of the man, but they do it in a way whereby, for example, I've seen a lot of podcasts have talked about this, and this has been addressed. In society, there are most women who want men to, how you want to say, probably this mindset back in the 80s and the 90s, step up to the plate and fight for their, got the terminology they want to use, like in case a man trying to disrespect them. Hey, you gonna let that happen? You know what I'm talking about, father? When they want a man to be a knight of shiny armor. Common sense reality. If you're a woman of virtue, something that they could lead to problem with your husband, particularly if woman of virtue, you'll say, husband, let's take a different direction. That's how you protect your man. You'll be the one that want to prevent that person from getting to not be there long enough for you. Today's society, you have more women that sending men to jail. Far more than say, honey, not worth it. Let's go. That's women protection. Or to blow a gasket. No, it's not. By for him to keep on waiting blood, but no, no. Don't calm down. That's protection. Don't see that much often. Yeah, whoop his ass. That's what I see more often. The one I saw on the next level that only a few Christian movies have been out there. I know Mr. probably remember this movie called The War Room. A Christian movie. But we're showing how
Actually, I never saw it. And actually, I have a thing. I don't watch a lot of Christian films. That's a thing with me. But that's another story altogether. That's
okay.
another conversation.
We will have this debate.
That's like a Tyler Perry movie to me. But go ahead though.
Sorry, I don't watch Christian films either. Sorry.
I want to have that
I
debate
was
with
Christian when I was younger, but I was
Yeah.
never. I'm not a God believer. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
So
Mm.
on
I
that note,
I
I
don't
will
have
deal
any
with Mr.
problems with it at all.
So
Yeah,
on that note,
matter of
I will
fact, a
deal
lot
with
of my
Mr. Bennett
friends
and
believe in
behind
God.
closed door on that. But the movie would speak about how a woman protect her husband through her personal prayer behind closed door without nobody. Hunky put her husband favor on the top of it, asking God, make sure, please don't let him go down this route. You don't find a lot of women who walk with a level of virtue, can tell from a distance. This is why character is key. It was taught back in Mr. Bennett days or further down the line. Women of the yesteryears are not the same as the women of today's. Have the segregation thing going on. There was a certain group have the elder women teaching the younger generation how to conduct themselves, how to carry themselves, and how to walk. Here go my debate brother. He understand that logic. So,
All right, David. Let's get Greg in here. Then we have Sean to go next. Go ahead,
all
Greg.
right.
To be honest with you, the young lady was speaking earlier on. I was trying to remember what she was saying, but my brain's gone completely blank. It really has. That's why I was trying to figure out what she was trying to say and reply to what she was saying. And then, as I said, I've completely forgot what she said. Sorry, miss, but I actually forgot what you
Okay.
said.
I say that women protect men. I say it's yes and no. And don't I say that women are not like physically not to protect, is usually the men are to protect, the woman.
Right. Yes and no to the last part.
Yes.
Women, no, they're not strong enough because they don't have, what is it? What's it the men that have that women don't have? It's the
That
strength,
the strength.
right?
Physical.
Right, whatever it's called. I just call it strength, right?
Okay.
It's not the fact of is it right or is it wrong if a woman should protect their man. It's more instinct that a woman protects her other half. It's like protecting your children.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. Right? My other half's done it to me multiple times living here. All right? I've been in a lot of danger because I've actually put myself there sometimes, but she's stuck up and got in between me and people and that. Not through because she has to, it's instinct,
Okay.
if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
All right? That's what I was trying to get at. Sorry, before that's what I was trying to say to you earlier.
The only pushback I do have on that, brother, and it's nothing against what you're saying or anybody else on the panel, is not everybody's like that. Like I know Mariana personally.
No,
No,
I
it's
agree.
Mariana, but I don't think you're gonna
I
jump
agree
right.
with you. I agree, Sparta. I agree with Mr. Whatever you want to call him. I agree with you. My mum went through 2 relationships that were violent. Yeah. And my mum never actually used the instincts to protect her own kids. Yeah. And her last partner actually went for me, my younger brother, and my older brother. And my mum never used the instinct to protect us. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And her last partner before that, her actual partner before her ex-one she broke up with, actually tried to kill my mother with a knife, but the dog got in the way. Yeah. That one's another story for another day. It's slightly funny as well, even though it's wrong, if you know what I mean. It's funny, but it's not. It's funny, but it's not. Screw it, I'll tell you. Our dog, yeah, it was a golden retriever. Yeah, family dog. We had him since he was 6 months old. His original name was Teddy Bear. You ever heard of the movie Full Monty?
No.
You never heard of it? The Full
No.
Monty. It's
Yeah, came out a while ago, but I think I remember it.
yeah, it was 2000. Back in 2000, around about that time. Anyway,
Right.
it's an English movie where a bunch of guys start standing up on stage and get completely naked. You don't see nothing, but they get up on stage and get completely naked for money. And literally, the film is called The Full Monty. If you ever look it up on the trailer on it, you'll see what I mean. But anyway,
Okay.
when that movie came out, we decided to call our dog Monty. Several years later, my mum met this guy called Ron, and he was crazy. He went for me a lot, went for my mum a lot, tried to kill my mother with a knife. Monty came in. Monty got the brunt of it, got stabbed in the lung, and had to rush him to the vets. Wouldn't settle down. The anaesthetic that he was under wouldn't let it kick in until he came home. So he had to literally get my auntie to come and pick us up at flaming 3 o'clock in the morning to go and pick the dog up to bring him home, so the anaesthetic would actually kick in to help him relax. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Long story, it's just funny-ish. Crazy dog though. Sorry, I was trying to make you laugh.
The only thing I want to say to you, brother, is I'm sorry you went through that. If you need to talk, we're all here.
Oh no, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's old hat. I don't speak to him. I haven't spoken to him or seen them, any of those guys, for 2 years. I haven't spoken to my mum for 2 years myself. But there's personal reasons I don't talk to my mother.
That's fine.
But I'm happy. I've currently got my current wife. She's sitting there, lovely lady. She hates being on camera, but she'll probably whip my ass later. But yeah, she's been a rock to me for 13 years. You saw my message earlier on, didn't you? Spartus, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, you saw my message earlier on. She's been my rock. She's been brilliant to me. But with women and men, women, it should be give and take on a relationship. I agree 100%. That should be how it should be. Yeah, a woman should give 50%. Bloke should give 50% to get 100% for the relationship to work. Okay. I can't think of anything else to say. My brain's gone off. Sorry. It's like nearly 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Appreciate you being here, brother.
Hey, cool.
We're gonna get you on a gray area one day and have a serious conversation with you, like on a Sunday show.
Brilliant.
All right. Do me a favor. Put your email in the back chat so we can keep in contact and stuff, or on Facebook. Either one.
Do you guys use WhatsApp at all?
I don't.
Well, I am on Facebook. I am on Facebook. Yeah, you can see my name. You'll see me on Facebook.
All right, I'll look you right now. Sean Peacock, my man, what's going on?
What's going down? How's everybody doing today?
All right.
We're good. You're up. We got on this, my man.
What's the question?
The topic tonight is: do women protect men?
That's a good question. Are they able to? Yes. Do they regularly do? No. Unless they have some type of stake in that man, whether it be, relative, spouse, child, good friend, then they might, protect and or try to protect. I think they should more often, specifically against other women, because they regularly will see something something being done to a man and will not regularly stand up for it. Yet the expectation sometimes is that if a man sees something, another man violating a woman, that whether you know them or not, he should stand up for her because she's a woman, especially if the violation is another man, which I understand and I can embrace that concept. But I think that in fairness, that should be reciprocated, especially when it comes to how women so often violate. I was just looking at something online a couple of days ago where a woman was just being very violating the man entirely, and the women who were standing around watching did not step to the woman whatsoever, but they did step to the man once the man started to retaliate. Oh no, you can't put your hand, starting to protect that woman. Oh no, you can't do that. The woman was literally physically um, hitting the man, violating the man, being disrespectful verbally initially. It then grew into where she was physically abusing the man, and the man was just taking it until he couldn't take it any longer, and he retaliated. And then all of the women who were standing around wanted to jump in and say, "Oh no, you can't do that to a woman. She's a woman. She's a woman." Meanwhile, when it was the other way around, she didn't. And I think that women should reverse that and really hold other women accountable. Not saying to get involved physically in the same way. I wouldn't suggest men always getting involved physically in quarrels like that. But this was not a lover's quarrel. What I was referring to, it was actually somebody in a store, and two people in the store that didn't know one another. But the point is that no, I don't believe women naturally is in this day and age protect men. Not even in a sense of a mother at times protecting her son when it comes to her son's girlfriend. For example, if the boyfriend is not being, let's say he's not being faithful to his girlfriend, often a mother would bring up and or challenge the son, or even expose the son's behavior um, in order to secure the sentiments or the feelings of his girlfriend, which I don't agree that you should be disingenuous or you should be lying or unfaithful in a relationship. Nor do I agree that if you are, it needs to be exposed by your mom and or anyone else. That's something between the two of them. And if asked, perhaps, but often without asking, they will, because of how they feel about it, or some type of situation they might have been through, will expose, well, you might want to do better, hint around to it, or even directly say, well, he's no good anyway. You might want to think about getting, and that's just to me the an example of where, and sometimes where women do not protect men, even when it's their own son.
All right, I want to play a video really fast for you guys. Here it is.
We do
Whatever
need men, though. We do.
We don't need them.
We do.
No, because they're lesbians.
Who do you call to get your car fixed? A man or a woman? Your toilet breaks down. Who do you call?
So I fix my own car. I can do. I'm motor mechanics.
Your power supply. Who runs it? Who runs the infrastructure of society? Men or women?
Oh, at the moment, men, obviously,
Yeah,
because of patriarchy. Because of patriarchy.
Oh no.
But
We
so
do
whatever
need men, though.
So who wants to go first?
That's funny. I'll jump in. That's the hypocrisy that continues on. The the mere fact that a woman can think that she doesn't need a man, for some of the reasons that Pearl was describing, it's just the icing or the tip of the iceberg. There's several scenarios. Now, in fairness, I believe men need women as well. A woman's job is to bring balance to a man. A man's job is to bring balance to a woman. And I think that we forget our roles and our jobs, and therefore we feel that we can do without. And I don't think that without either one of us fare better. I think that with, and I'll put in quotations, good women and men uh, with one another, they definitely bring balance and bring and complement each other for the differences that they do have.
All right, and I I agree. Dave, go ahead.
I'm gonna have fun with this.
Oh
That
boy.
video. That video. If I want to show that video, okay, let's go about it. Who fixed your car? They say a woman does that. Okay. Who fixed your plumb? They claim women do it. Okay, fine. Fix your electricity and take the wire get damaged. They think women do it. Okay, fine. Who built your house? Who connect your internet service and other utilities to get done? Working on the road in case there's a bust pipe that affect multiple homes.
Who built the road?
Who built the road? Who built the highway? Who climbed the high? I ain't gonna call it 120 tower pole and do the type of crazy ass job, knowing a one slight mishap and it's not haunted to what anything haunted. Like, let's be real here. I have seen the argument on podcasts. I've seen the buffoonery that goes on. Anyone that in STEM, which is science, technology, maths,
Engineering.
from civil engineering to mechanical engineering to computer engineering, all type of version of engineering. From middle school to high school and to college, we don't see a drove of women watching the Game TV program. On every construction site I see in New York City, what is the demographic of the people who are climbing up these buildings, fixing themselves? Because I used to be a security guy at one point in time at a construction site in Manhattan on West 17, and I walk up the area and I look at places where they had to harden themselves to the beam and work on these things in doing such things. And when they say they don't need a man, in present society, what nation, what company do they know is fully run by women on the STEM side of things? I've never seen a full woman construction company that build a house from ground to top or any type of commercial building from ground to top or doing any of the dangerous jobs. Now I see maybe about 1 to 2% women that join the men on the oil rig. I've seen that part. I've seen 2 to 3% of women who join the merchant marine, whereby they're on tankers. Not that many. But if I keep on hearing this BS about they don't need a man, then it's about time we start to put them to the test. Build your all woman society, build your own utility company, your own construction company, and you are not allowed to contact no man for the next 2 years, even though you're about to Give up the ghost. No man should help your ass. And what you? Not one woman will sign up for that type of program. So you give them a good acre of land and you shut them off. I can figure that one out. By the time you come back, no disrespect, you got to bring a bunch of body bags. Cover your nose for the smell. Moving a lot of what out of there. So let's stop the BS. I'm just at the nerd when I find people trying to be stupid. I try not to disrespect them to the point whereby I want to take their soul. I used to be that vicious person. Think you got a mouth. I'm the one your mom, your aunt will warn you stay away from me. Because I will kill you, I will roast you, I will decimate you until you break before my eye, and I'm not gonna let it go until you beg me. This is why I'm not trying to be what I'm being technical about here, because that video, yes, it is triggering, it's freaking annoying me, but it has proved a level of buffoonery and stupidity that have gone beyond the Richter scale. It got to a point whereby I'm not trying to be funny, because remember how did they shoot a man or the bear? Now I'm going to the point where why not say between a woman or shoot a monkey from the zoo? Which one is better? And I'm doing a logic because monkey is used for science. At least you can train a monkey to do something good. Can't train a bear to do anything. So if I want to disrespect all the women, remember this face. If you debate with me out,
I want to cut you off a second.
Go ahead.
Because remember a while back we did a show, do women need men in their lives? Remember that a while back we did that show?
Mm-hmm.
And back then I didn't have Alicia or Mariana on here, so I want to re-answer that question really fast. Do women need men in their lives? And I want to say yes, you guys do need them, because a lot of things we do on a daily basis. I'm not talking about cooking, like I am one of the best chefs in the area, but that's a different story. It's like mechanics. Are you going, Alicia? Let's be honest here. I don't see you changing a tire. Do you even know how to change a tire?
Nope. I don't even know what half is stuff going on in my car.
No, Jesus Christ, you're hopeless sometimes.
I'm grateful for my father, who is definitely a provider, protector, and is there for me for anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also grateful for male friends, as I do have my mindset changed from when I was in a very toxic relationship, and all the guy kept saying to me is, you need me, you will never survive without me.
Well, Maria, Alicia, I'm not trying to knock on you, but you do have a habit of leaving your gas tank going on E.
And going where?
E, your gas tank.
Oh yeah. No, I thought you meant leaving your guests. I'm like, what? But you said gas tank.
No. But and that is a good example tonight, because think about it, guys. It's like you do need mechanics, you need electricians, you need a construction guy. Your father, a good example, Alicia, is in construction.
Yeah, like
at least he was. He's retired now, obviously.
Yeah, but I need people helping me with boxes. I need a man fixing stuff for me. I can't do.
Yeah. Mariana, what about you? Do you think you need a man in your life?
Yes, I will say most definitely. I mean, a lot of stuff that if I mean, there's no way a woman could do it. Like electrician, it's always gonna be a guy doing it. 95%.
Always. I seen women mechanics.
Yeah, they have it.
Rare.
I mean, they
rare.
Very rare. Yeah, very rare. From also construction. Mostly. I mean, you probably have one, but not too often, as I say. But
again, it's rare. Like I said, it's rare.
Yeah, rare. So yeah, you definitely like women do need men. I mean, I do need men when it comes to fix things that I don't have no knowledge whatsoever. Stuff that, something that's not, that I'm not gonna mess with. Like whatever the case is, sometimes if something, let's say if a fuse go off, like of course I'm gonna have to have a electrician to come by. But other than
Fair
that,
enough.
it is also, in overall sense, also for protection. I mean, it's not only in everyday life, yes, but also, it has to be reciprocate. Like
Mhm.
men and women had to like protect each other. The way I look at it, but yeah,
Let me ask you,
it's
women, another question. Catch 22. I'm gonna get back on topic.
okay.
So let's say you're in a war zone, right?
Hmm.
And you see a 15-year-old boy, all right, but he's about to shoot one of your comrades, one of your team members, whatever. All right, you're in a war. Are you able to pull that trigger and put him down?
Yes.
You think you'd ever shoot that kid?
No,
In
I'd be crying.
Mariana, what do you think?
Well, the thing is, in order to protect my comrades, probably I will not aim directly, but more like, I don't know. I hate to say it, shoot towards the foot. If I'm lucky to, I mean, I think it's
He's
very
still on the
hard.
foot. It does. See, if you shoot him in the foot, he's still combat capable. I'm saying
Yeah.
take him down completely.
Yeah, it's hard. A 15-year-old kid, like
I don't think I
that to
don't think I
me.
could.
Yeah, that's almost. My God, this
It's the
is a
same
tricky
age.
question. Yeah.
Sorry, it's the same age as my son. I think I would be too emotionally attached.
And you have a good point there, Alicia. So the argument statement with that was, I had somebody argue with me, says, "Oh, women can be infantry." I'm like, I disagree with that completely.
I'd be crying. I totally was. I'm a very emotional person.
I agree. I don't see you ever pulling the trigger.
Yeah. I'd
So
be a mess emotionally.
yeah,
I don't think I could handle it.
and that's one of the things. So anybody else have anything on this before we move on?
Just want to maybe give a little bit of clarity too, because I know I've heard that I certainly agree that certainly the world is run by men and men have built the world. And I think the woman who was speaking there, I think she's simply projecting that on what she can do, or she's talking in absolutes. But the practical reality is that yes, men are required in this world. Now she wants to blame it on the patriarchy or whatever, but these days nothing is stopping women from taking on these jobs. So I think it's a specious argument at best. But I do want to, because I did look up a little bit as far as the STEM fields and whatnot. Women are in STEM, and I think that's something we need to stop. And this, just looked at Pew Research. I'm looking at global statistics. Got about 35 to 45% of women are in STEM fields.
Mhm.
They are. So I mean, this idea that women don't care about STEM, or you can't find women. Women are in these fields. That doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to go out and build a road or a dam, or do a lot of the physical things, but they are in STEM. So I don't know how this trope, again, this is the manosphere talking that women aren't in STEM. You have a lot of women who are in STEM. I've heard guys talk about, less than 10% of women are in STEM. It's not true. Even globally, as far as women enrolled in college, 35% are in STEM. So I think that's, I just want to clear it up, but I just don't want to keep repeating these same tropes and whatnot that people want to spin out that women don't want to do these fields. They are in these fields. In the U.S., a lot of the engineering schools, it's up to 50% of women are in these fields. So I think let's debate, but let's speak truth at the same time.
Mhm.
Let me add to that. Yes, There's a huge number of women in the medical field. That is a given. There is an increasing number of women joining the IT realm. That is correct. But I'm pointing out it's the type of job that is outside the white collar job when it comes to STEM. Now, as for manufacturing, there have been a steady number have been keeping that pace within the manufacturing auto industry. Well, totally correct. But the job that I'm speaking of, I'm talking about construction jobs. Talk about the job that are more outdoor, whereby it's more risky at hand. The numbers is different. Now, when you go from different area, you're totally correct. There's an increasing large number of women joining the area. You know that it's
Correct,
totally,
right? But
it's
and
heavy
I
in the
and I
medical
would say
field.
that's how you need to frame it, because again, I've been hearing this for 5 years.
I know you
I've
hear
been
it. I
saying
hear
you
it too.
say this stuff all the time. Again, that women aren't in STEM. They are in STEM.
And that's why I'm very nerdy about it. I tell be specific. I mentioned the medical field. They're heavy. That's under STEM and the story. The IT realm, you and I both IT
Yeah,
specialists.
accounting. I mean, it's
Accounting,
math is
yes,
part of it, right? So that would
it's
be
not a part of it.
accounting.
And
Yeah,
I
I mean
get
that's
that.
yeah.
This is why I talk about, remember when they say all men are always come on the panel and say, what group of men are you referring to? Because as a nerd, I got tired of the doofus who don't pay attention to the English class and use proper English language. You want to debate your point, be more specific about it. Like you just said, be more, and I mentioned what area they are heavy in, which is totally correct. That's under the white collar, which is more indoor. Anything more outdoor is considered to be a detour to them. What I have noticed, because living in New York City, I actually do a security job in Manhattan, and I've been a lot around too many security sites where they have a lot of construction going on. And what are the demographic I see coming in and out? Very well, you see a woman construction worker who will climb up the high rise, put on the harness, buckle herself, and do the type of thing that most men are doing. That is very, very rare. They're pushing for it. Yes, that is very, very true. Problem is, what it requires for them to do those type of job is why I said this is why people in the military talked about this. They lowered the standard for the women because the women is not the same as men. Yeah, the military standard for be drafted into the military to be at a certain level on both ends, but they know men body conditioning is not the same as women body conditioning, which I totally get the sign behind it. Which I'm not trying to be contradictory. That is me.
Mm.
But this is why I point out the area and I speak on the specifics. Correct. Because for one, I would like to see more construction workers who are more women. I'll let you know, okay, they stepping up to the plate. So they want to do what men do. That is great. But you and I both know in IT, most are more into the developer side, where it's more.
Oh,
But
absolutely, absolutely.
they're not willing to be behind the part whereby we yanking out 100, 200, 300 pound server from the rack, which I have done many a time, whereby we didn't have the lever. And me being a big ass African gorilla, sometimes they had to put a 200-pound server on my knee and slide it into the rack because they didn't have the strength so they won't hurt their back. And sometimes when I lose my cool and they're taking too long, I will put it down, growl like an angry black gorilla, lift that bad boy, slide it in, and everybody looking at me like, okay, he lost his cool. No, duh. That's taking too long. It's hurting my knee. I know I'm strong, but this is a side of me that you don't see when I'm working behind the scene doing IT. I could be really grouchy when things is not going at a timely manner. I gotta pull a 800-pound K worth of old machine that we replaced through a window migration, and I jam my finger by accident. I will lift the K and just shove it off out of anger. Yeah, that is me. I'm not gonna see no woman gonna lift a 800-pound cage full of electronics. Not happening. They're not built the same. That's why I say I'm more of a bear paw or a gorilla. Choose one. Like I say, choose your poison. But when you come to women protecting men, the only women can protect men by protecting themselves from putting me in a sense of then whereby I don't think women understand this. When you are a woman of virtue, true woman of virtue can calm the beast in a man in a way that no other person can. I am an undercover, almost uncontrollable beast when I lose my temper. I'm the kind I don't mind slamming an 800-pound dude as many times as possible so I can get the joy out of it. I miss being in my rage. But I'm happy at best. I can take out all the anger and the frustration. Know who can stop that from happening? A virtue.
Yeah. I mean, I think the point was raised earlier about kind of what you're saying, as far as women protecting a man from, or actually women today, they're more like, you need to go and kick his butt. That seems to be more the norm than not. And everybody remembers a few years ago, everybody remembers the Will Smith situation with Chris Rock, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
The slap, right? So again,
that one right there, that Will Smith situation, I laugh about it because that was very unnecessary. That's one. Two, I used to say that what would another African person you would slap that? Woodman would have got an ass kick right there.
Right, but before it even got there, my point is, we talking about protecting men, right?
Hmm?
All she would have had to do and be like, "Nah, baby, not here."
She wasn't protecting him.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm confirming your point that you have a lot of women who would say, let's say if you're at a party at a club or something like that, and a guy makes a pass at your wife or he smacks your wife in the butt or whatever. Now, keep in mind, he may have a posse of dudes with him. Now, you could be of such where, okay, you want to take on the entire club. Now, what is your woman going to do in that situation? Is she going to say, that dude smacked me on my butt, you need to go and whip his behind? Or would she say, babe, we need to go? What is the act of protection in that particular situation? And I see a lot of women who would want to have their man fight somebody and risk arrest or injury or a whole host of things just in order to protect your honor.
That one's quite easy.
What's that, sir?
If I was to protect Nikki's honor, it would have to be a guy trying it on with her, putting her down, slapping her, or even trying to feel her up.
Mm-hmm.
That would be me trying to defend her honor.
Okay, but so situation. Okay, so you're in a, and I'm not going to go to those extreme examples. You're at a pub. You're with your wife. You're hanging out or whatever. A guy comes up. He makes a pass at your wife or whatever, or he smacks her on the butt or whatever. Now you get into a fight with the guy. You get arrested. You go to jail. Whatever the situation falls. Now you're not there to protect your wife from whatever else or whomever else may come in that situation. So you have to ask yourself, is that protect? I can certainly get the visceral. I would have a very visceral reaction if someone accosted my wife. But the situation,
in my other half's case, she can actually defend herself.
Right.
No word of a lie. She could.
Right. Well, I'm saying, but would she be protecting you if she said, that guy touched me, you need to beat him up? Is that protecting you?
But if it's too much for her, yes, I would. But she would put the guy on his backside. She literally would. She's done it to me many times. She's literally done it to me many times.
I would love to see. Right.
She's an MMA
but that's a different situation. But I'm saying, but if she told you, oh, you need to kick this guy's butt because he did this to me, is that protection? Is she protecting you in that situation?
No.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. But a lot of that energy is with a lot of women now where they'll be so in their feelings about this situation, not looking at the long term. Again, it's playing. You can do a checker move, but this is a chess move.
My other half would just literally say to me either she would
And-
try and deal with it herself, or she would try and get out of the situation and leave the pub.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
here's the thing: I've seen past videos that have been reported on the news whereby a woman
I'll
pushed
be
a
alright.
man to fight for her honor, not realizing there was a gang of men ready to jump that guy. And while he was getting beat up, I'm sure she got a phone. Did she call 911 to protect? She was telling the man fight back. Like, okay, you want a man to fight back against 9 other people? Really? There's sometimes men even see from a distance, they see a group of guys walking down the street, right? And they want to cross the other to avoid that. Women say, well, we ain't crossing for them. I'm like, you. And this is what I'm seeing among the ethnic community who are, Mr. Paul be laughing, but Mr. Paul Bennett, this is what a lot of young guys have been complaining about. Especially they're coming from New York City or from Chicago or all the heavy black denominated neighborhood. That's the mess that I see on the street. There to be a time right there, hang out late night and watch how people conduct themselves on the street, and you see the shenanigan. And I'll be looking at them like, why should a man risk their life for such woman? Why? Why? And we
It's
saw
just,
on the news.
David,
And we saw on, I know.
it's
we
just
saw
the way
on,
you. It's just the way you said.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny, but that's the expression. You saw on the news for the past 2 or 3 years how women want to set men up. Oh, I'll get my brother come. But didn't
All right,
get
guys.
in the way.
So let's start getting our final thoughts in, and let's wrapping this up slowly. So
Let Sean speak. So I think he was trying to get.
I'm sorry. So go ahead, Sean. You want to go first?
Yeah, all I was going to say is, Bennett, I don't know if you was on there, but a while ago, a couple of years ago, maybe a few, Mr. Letgo had posed that question to a bunch of men. And ironically, he made a very valid point. He said, who are you really protecting when you do that? Are you protecting your woman? If they, let's say they didn't, they just said, yo, your woman looks good in front of you. They didn't put hands on her like you suggested, but they just did something inappropriate as far as said, who are you protecting? Are you protecting your woman? Or are you protecting your ego? And I really had to fall back and reevaluate.
Sorry, can I get you to repeat that? I didn't catch that last bit. Sorry.
I said, are you protecting your woman or are you protecting your ego?
Your ego.
Because to protect your woman was the point they made. You are supposed to make sure you both get home safely, that she doesn't get home and have to worry about calling the cops or a hospital or a morgue, depending on the circumstances or your reactions to something that really wasn't that inappropriate. Like I said, it was where they didn't put hands on. But let's just say hands on is a different scenario that we can argue. But let's just say similar to the smack that we just the slap when he said something and Jada didn't like it. That's the same thing if we didn't like something that another guy said and we went out and just flipped out because of it or acted out because of it. The real, as you were saying earlier, the real thing is what happens now. You done made it to where your woman either gotta get bail money, she gotta call morgue because something happened to you. She got to take you to a hospital or take somebody else to a hospital or do something that is not in protection of her. Now it's an inconvenience to her and you as well, simply because you didn't react. You didn't have emotional balance to react in a mature way. So, that's definitely something that I had to reevaluate because your instinct will tell you, your ego will tell you, man, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to hurt him and flip out and going to go against the whole club. But your common sense in hindsight, it's like flipping on somebody because they stepped on your shoe. I always used to use that example. I don't want to be locked up and have to think, well, what you in here for? Well, somebody stepped on my shoe and I flipped out on them and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna feel like an asshole.
Hmm.
I'm just straight up. If I'm gonna be locked up, I'd rather be something that I can say I will do again, and I don't have no concern on no repercussions on why I did it. But if somebody stepped on my shoe, a $35 pair of shoe, and I flipped out, and I'm now possibly losing my job, losing my time, of course, have to losing money because I gotta pay stuff. That's foolish of me. That's
Yeah.
just my ego just running rampant. And we need to get a better emotional maturity when we're in that predicament and don't know how to address that properly.
Hmm.
All right, let's start getting our final thoughts. Alicia, you want to go first?
Sure. So after like hearing more and more from everybody's thoughts and what they have to add, I did more thinking about this topic. And as I said, do I think that women can protect men? Yes, but also I think it's in different ways. Like, do I think I can protect a man physically? No, but I definitely can be there emotionally, mentally, and there in other ways, like such as my job. I'm like a case manager. I'm a case manager for mental health, addictions. So I feel like I'm there for men and women in my job, but also it's protecting in different ways. And there are men are needed in my life to protect me in their ways.
Yeah, this actually turned out to be a pretty good conversation. I really liked how this went. And yeah, I mean, can women protect men? I think yes, but not in the reciprocal ways that I'm hearing in a lot of these YouTube spaces. The idea that I think certainly a man with his emotions, to cover his back, to make sure that the man is exuding the best of what he can be, not putting him in compromising situations where he has to react in a particular situation. So if you out acting a fool and he has to step up to protect you, but why put him in that situation to begin with? I think covering a guy where he might be lacking in certain areas, like I said, he may not be the greatest at the math or the accounting or keeping the books, but you are. I think that's a form of protection also. I think protecting his heart in that he can confide in you and share his innermost thoughts and feelings. That's a protective sort of place where he can express himself and shed off the mask that he might be putting out there to the world and having to wear this toughness, but he could be tender. Because again, men are not just physical brutes, and we're not just tender. We have emotions, we have feelings, we love, we hurt, all those sort of things. So again, that could be a form of protection also. I think in general, I talked about creating an environment where the man wants to be home, wants to be with you. I think that keeps him from vices and temptations out there that would otherwise harm you in the end. And also look at it this way: why you should protect is because, again, that is, in a lot of ways, that's your investment. That is a part of you. You're going to be impacted. If he's not right, it's going to come back on you one way or the other. So it's in your interest to make sure that he's protected or or taken care of in certain ways, because that protects in the end your back. So yeah, so I think they can certainly protect, but again, the ways in which they do it are not, and I don't think they've ever been meant in mass to be the same. But unfortunately, like I said, in these spaces, I've been hearing guys request things of women that I never would have heard of 20, 25 years ago. And I think that's just a sign of kind of where a lot of guys are And I think that's a conversation as well.
Well, this is a interesting topic. I'm glad we talk about this topic. This is that women will protect men in more like an emotional sense, and and protect their dignity, like meaning you're not gonna like slander somebody that you care for. On a physical sense, it's impossible. I mean, and not impossible, but more like you don't want to throw yourself and get caught or God forbid get arrested, whatever the case is. So it's crucial. It's better off use words wisely to defend the men that you care, and also do not have a like altercation or argue. And the next thing you need to be, I hate to say it because everybody have phones and you film. The last thing you need is arguing for trying to protect your man. So there's no need for that. So yeah, I mean, women have to be more uh, in control with their emotions, but don't let the emotions run wild. If you really are, if you care and protect, you're gonna care and protect, but just don't go in on the physical sense. If somebody say something, it's not worth it. So that's all I could say.
The night bad guy. I'm just gonna make it simple. It's very rare to see women will protect their man in a level of. Today we live in a realm of entitlement. Hey, it's only a very small group that does it, and they're very rare. I think there are a lot of them in this soil. Truth can be told. Basically, they could come out from the woodwork or they'll keep hiding. That's what it is. It's what an interesting topic. I'm doing my best not to be triggered by I was telling my co-host here, bear paw or gorilla, choose one. I ain't no Groot. Other than that, interesting topic. This is my final thought from the African black grizzly bear.
Greg, you're up, bud.
Sorry, I've got nothing to say. I'm sorry, but I totally agree with a lot of the stuff you guys say. That's all I can say, mate. Sorry. Sorry about that.
You good, man? Sean, you there? Oh, Sean.
You in the night weather car again? Woman the street?
I think he's been having issues because he's been coming in and out. So I don't think. Let me do a quick schedule update.
He's driving, that's why.
Yeah. No, he's home, I think, because I saw him in his house before. But anyway, let's do a quick schedule update. David, what's going on with you guys tomorrow? You guys
I'm waiting. Right? I probably get a feedback from Waller because it's his turn. I remember the first round was your turn, second round was my turn, and his turn. So we'll see how we go about the programming. Other than that, I'm still working behind the scenes trying to figure out how we can fine tune our platform and Discord. We're looking for Discord engineer. Please, if you're good at what you do, give it a holler.
Sean, you want to get your final thoughts really fast?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I was having some technical issues trying to figure this out. But what I would say is, can a woman protect a man? Women protect what they're loyal to. And they're usually loyal to their feelings more than anything, unfortunately. But if they're loyal to the man, they will take the effort and make the effort to protect them. If they're loyal to their children, if they're loyal to themselves, they will make the effort and protect them. We see it all the time. We see women when they don't even need protection, doing things that, we would think are unspeakable towards standing their ground and position on whatever it is that they are feel loyal to or feel they need to protect, whether it's their feelings, whether it's their position, whether it's their man, whether it's their child. They protect what it is that they're loyal to. Now, how do we get them a bit more loyal to their men that they quote unquote claim loyalty to? That's on y'all to try and figure out, ladies. But can you protect? Absolutely. Do you protect? Not usually. Should you protect? I think more often. And again, like I said earlier, protect against other women. That woman code, that's what's problematic right now. If you're loyal to that woman code, that's what you protect. I don't know why you're loyal to it. I'll leave it there.
Sean, thank you so much. So let's finish the schedule update and we can get out of here. So on Thursday, Paul and Coach will be having a show beginning of working out. Am I correct, Paul?
Yes. Starting to work out. What are some tips, some things you can do on the outset, things to look for. So yeah.
This Friday we'll be off. We won't have a show this Friday. Next Friday we'll be back with me and David's wrestling show. And on Saturday, I'm actually looking forward to the show. Zeus versus Odin, the Clash of Gods. Stop shaking your head over there.
My favorite part of history.
What's up, man?
My favorite part of history.
I'll send you the link if you want to join us. You're welcome to. Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
This is the problem with Peter. He got the most unusual debate topics that lead to go one way or the other, or go to the banana zoo. Which one is it? I don't know.
Listen, don't let my great father Zeus shove a lightning bolt up your ass.
You know what? All my Thor fan base, please come out here so we can make it hard for Peter, so he can feel the heat. Oh yeah, bring the clip of the movie when Zeus got his clock kicked by you know who in Blockbuster theaters.
So we will having a gray area Sunday. So a little schedule update also on top of the time zones things. So next week will be the last week that we'll have the Sparta Arena at 8:30. We're moving back to 9:30 because my schedule is going back to normal finally. So the only one might stay still the same, and I gotta speak to my guys. Maybe be the hangout. I gotta talk to the guys on that and figure the solution to that. But for right now, it will be at 8:30 till we have a talk. Except that, as always, I'm Spartan. This is SQ Network. Excuse me, Spartan SQ Network. She's Alicia. That is Mr. President, the Witch Doctor, Bear Paul, Happy. My boy Greg. Greg, welcome on board, man. I'm so happy to have you on, dude. Seriously, you're so
can you change that name from Greg? It's Craig.
Greg, I'm sorry.
I don't have a G at the beginning. It's a C.
I apologize. And my boy Peacock, and he has his music on. As always, guys, singing. Get me twisted here. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.